And well, I've welcome for this weekly live stream on the latest and greatest news in Ethereum and DeFi. If you don't know me, I'm Julian, and on Eat the Blogs, I teach blockchain development. Hi, everybody in the chat. Hi, Tio, Yashvira, Batman. Hi, everybody. So, for those who are new here and who want to become a professional blockchain developer, if you haven't followed my free training yet, make sure to register because you're gonna find some very useful tip for your career, and it's a completely free training. We are going to start with the price of Ether. So that was a very volatile week. We are trading in a range, and now we are above 3,000. So the market is very indecisive. We're not sure if we're going up or down. In terms of the gas price, now it's stabilizing at a relatively high level. Next. Here is an interesting tweet. This is a study for the different client for Ethereum 2.0. So the main client is Prism, but there are a couple of others. And why it's very important to have a client diversity in Ethereum 2.0 and also in Ethereum 1. That's because if there is a bug in any client, it's not going to affect the whole network. And an example of that is what happened with Solana last week, when there was a bug on their client, because there is just one client in a network that makes the network very unstable. So that's really one major advantage that Ethereum has compared to its competitor. Next, there is this interesting thread on Arbitrum, one of the leading L2 scaling solution for Ethereum. And so this thread basically shows the progress of what has been accomplished on Arbitrum. And so now there is a very functional bridge that can transfer many assets between Ethereum L1 and Arbitrum. There are also other bridges like the one of the Celer network with a lower withdrawal periods when you want to withdraw your asset from Arbitrum to Ethereum L1. If you use a Celer, that's only 7 days compared to 14 days for the bridge of Arbitrum itself. There are also other bridge that allow you to move your asset across Ethereum L2 directly, for example, between Arbitrum to Optimism, and that is provided by the Hop protocol. In terms of the number of assets that was transferred between Ethereum L1 and Arbitrum, it's increasing very rapidly. And of course, one of the reasons is because there are a lot of the fees are much lower on Arbitrum, and also you have a lot of new DeFi projects that are being launched on Arbitrum at the moment. And when it comes to the transaction fee, actually, it's going to go even lower because currently Arbitrum is not operating at 100% of its capacity. It's still being throttled because everything is still being tested, so expect even lower transaction fees in the future. And in terms of applications deployed on Arbitrum, we have a lot of dexes, so SushiSwap, Uniswap, Curve, Balance. So it's really the main dex of Ethereum L1 now they are on Arbitrum. In terms of total value locked, of course, this is still way lower, way smaller than for Ethereum L1, but still it's getting bigger. We also have some derivative protocol on Arbitrum now, and yeah, like many other details on this thread. So that was quite interesting. Then we have some news from the Celer network, which has deployed a new bridge, so the 2.0 bridge, and basically one of the most, there are many I mean, if you want to read the article in detail, there are many stuff, but the most interesting thing I found there is that there is a white label front-end SDK. So if you have a multi-chain dApp and you want to make it cross-chain, then you can use the SDK to automatically give a cross-chain capability to your dApp very easily. Then we have some news from the Aztec protocol. So this is a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum that is focused on privacy. And so Aztec has been live for 6 months. Since the launch, there were $5.5 million that were sent through the system. And that's about 21,000 transactions. And so today they made 1 week ago, they made a few announcements for the next milestone. So that the transaction volume might seem very low compared to the other Ethereum L2 scaling solution, but you have to keep in mind that Aztec is really a niche in the niche, because this is really what makes Aztec so different, is this private Ethereum transaction. So then we're going to continue with this tweet on censorship resistance for L2. So if you go on L2bit.com, which is a website to compare the different L2 scaling solution, one criteria of comparison is the operator censorship. So they basically explain you how these L2 chain are able to censor your transaction. And that's very important to know, because very recently there was this scandal with DYDX that basically gave an airdrop, but only for people who came from certain countries. And so of course in crypto that's a big no-no. And so on L2bit.com you can see what are different ways that a different network can censor yourself. So for example, for Arbitrum or Optimism, if you are on this chain and the network doesn't want to process your transaction, they want to censor you, at any time you still have the possibility to process your transaction with Ethereum L1. So of course that's much more expensive, but that's a huge escape hatch for user. But this escape hatch does not exist for other L2 scaling solutions. So that's important to keep this in mind when you want to choose which L2 you want to use, either for yourself as a user or if you want to deploy your project as an entrepreneur. All right, so next, an interesting thread I found on Twitter was this. So this is basically the question is, does MEV increase gas price? So MEV stands for miner extractable value. So it's basically this is all the money that can be made by miner because they have a privileged information like a front running, etc. And so does when miners really do a lot of front running, etc., does it increase the gas price? Well, actually not so much, because what happens is when you have a lot of MEV, you'll have the first transaction in a block will be the one with the crazy gas price, like a very high gas price, because this front runner, miner, etc., they want their transaction to be the first one in the block. But after that, for all the remaining space is still the normal competition for gas price. So this crazy transaction with very high gas price, they take just a very small fraction of the block. So MEV doesn't really increase gas price. All right, so next we have some news from Synthetix. So basically they are moving on from L1 to L2 for their exchange Quenta. So Quenta, this is an exchange related to Synthetix where you can trade your synth. So if you never heard of Synthetix, this is one of the biggest derivative protocol for Ethereum, and they have all these Synthetix assets. And for example, you even have stock on Synthetix like Google, Amazon, Apple, etc. And so currently these were traded on the Quanta exchange on Ethereum L1, but this will move to an L2, and I think Synthetix is on Optimism. So that's really interesting. This is really a big milestone because Synthetix, this is one of the big DeFi protocol out there, and they take this decision. They say, well, now most of basically we are going to move to L2. So it's really a big trend currently in DeFi. All right, so next we're going to continue with the market cap of DeFi. So this week we are at $84 billion. So we are not far from breaking 100 billion. And if we look at the number of ETH that are locked in DeFi, actually we are close to the all-time high. Then if we check the DeFi market cap for Binance Smart Chain, it's very slow. It really doesn't go up. We're at 22 billion, and then there is no momentum. So yeah, like the DeFi in Binance Smart Chain at the moment, there is no momentum. All right, so then we're gonna check the crypto fees. So this is a ranking of the fee generated by the biggest DeFi project. And so yeah, Ethereum, which is always far above everybody. Uniswap, this is the biggest DeFi protocol in terms of fees generated. SushiSwap is still far below Uniswap, and you can see Bitcoin now, which is so far from Ethereum. QuickSwap, the biggest DEX on Polygon, not far after Bitcoin. And if we go down, so we find some Ethereum L2 like Optimism, Arbitrum, Avalanche here, and Cardano, which is far below. Okay, so when you hear about all the hype about Cardano, keep in mind this ranking. Okay, keep in mind where Cardano is compared to the other blockchain, especially compared to Ethereum, because really, if the fees generated by a network, that's a big indication of the usefulness of the network, because the people have to pay for these fees. So if people are willing to pay more for a certain network, it means this is more valuable in the eyes of users. All right, so next we are going to continue with the biggest winner and biggest loser of the week for the DeFi token. And so the best token of the week is the Orca. So this is a decentralized exchange, and they have raised $18 million. Then we have DYDX almost plus 50%, and that's because the CEO of DYDX made an announcement this week. So he said that 5 years ago he left Coinbase, and today the volume of DYDX is bigger than Coinbase. So this is a huge milestone. Then we have Trader Joe. So this is the second consecutive week where Trader Joe is doing well, plus 25% this week. So this is one of the biggest protocol on Avalanche, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so next we have the token of Rari, so plus 23%. Then total value locked is almost $400 million, so they are doing really well. And then we have the coin of the Enzyme protocol plus 20%. All right, so in terms of the loser, what do we have? Covalent, Venus protocol, so big protocol on Binance Smart Chain, Bounce, this one FXS, I don't know that one, C98. So yeah, a lot of the losers are not very famous here, except the Venus. All right, so next we're gonna continue with specific news for DeFi project. And we are going to start with DAI. So DAI just released their token bridge, on Arbitrum. So now you can transfer your DAI token back and forth between Ethereum L1 and Arbitrum. Then we have some news from the 1inch network. They are expanding to Arbitrum, and so now you'll be able to use 1inch on for all the dexes on Arbitrum. Next, we have some news from Bitfinex and Diversify. So Diversify, this is a decentralized exchange, and so Bitfinex and Diversify are launching a layer 2 bridge. So you'll be able directly to move your asset from Bitfinex to Diversify, and this is the first time that we have a bridge like this from a centralized exchange to a L2 to a L2 application. Then we have some news from Uniswap. So Uniswap, which recently deployed to a layer 2, I think they deployed to Optimistic, Ethereum, and Arbitrum. And so they deployed the alpha version. So now they upgrade this to beta. So because now Uniswap is really much bigger than before. So they have a very rigorous deployment process. First alpha, beta, etc. So soon it will be the production release, and I'm guessing that most of the volume is going to migrate from Ethereum L1 to one of the L2. So I don't know if it's going to be Optimistic or Arbitrum. Then we are going to continue with fundraising. So Coinbase and a couple of other companies have financed a company that wants to bring DeFi to Bitcoin. So this is not the first time that we hear this, bringing DeFi to Bitcoin. I mean, I have to say I'm very, very skeptical. Okay, so then we have some news from a protocol on Solana. So the Grape protocol on Solana raised $1.2 million, and so they want to provide tools for DAOs. And actually, this protocol was the reason why Solana went offline for 17 hours last week, because the demand for the Grape protocol was so high that it basically crashed the blockchain. Then we have another money raise from a company called Kobo that raised $40 million. So this is a crypto custodian. So it's basically they help institutional to keep their crypto. They are based in Asia, and they just raised 40 million. Next, we have another money raise. So a former executive from Consensus is launching a crypto fund of $50 million. This is going to be called the Delta Blockchain Fund. All right, so next we have Dapper Labs, which is raising $250 million. So Dapper Labs, which is the company behind CryptoKitties. They are also behind the popular NFT game platform NBA Top Shot. And so in total, they raised $300 million. So I mean, Dapper Labs at this point is really the king of DeFi, of NFT. All right, so then other money raised. Genesis Digital Assets. So this is a Bitcoin mining firm, and they raised $431 million. So this is getting really impressive, because now every week we hear about a crypto company that raised a really large amount in the hundreds of millions. And we're not talking of ICO here, we're talking of traditional VC funding, which isn't as easy to raise. So I wouldn't be surprised if soon we'll cross the bar of $1 billion pre-IPO money. So this is getting really, the valuation are getting huge. Then we're going to continue with NFT. So the NFT market has slowed down in the past few weeks here. So this is the the average secondary price for the biggest NFT, and you can see that now we are plateauing a little bit. Then we have this big news from Snoop Dogg, which is entering the metaverse. So he's going to participate in this metaverse game called Sandbox, and he's going to do a virtual concert here. And apparently, he's also a big whale for NFT. Then we have some news from the Time magazine, which is releasing a new NFT collection, where basically they're going to release about 5,000 NFT from 40 different artists, and yeah, so that looks pretty cool. Then we have the big sale of the week for NFT. So there was $75,000 for this picture. So if you on crypto Twitter, or if you've been on Reddit for a while, like, you probably recognize one of the most famous meme here. Then we have some news from the Arbitrum wallet, which is one of the best wallet for DeFi. And so now they've released a new feature to show the NFT, all the NFT of a specific address. So if you use Arbitrum, you'll be able to have a nice page with all your NFT like this. Then we have some news from Andre Conré, who is one of the most prolific builder in the DeFi industry, and is launching a rival to the NFT marketplace OpenSea, and he's going to call this platform Artion. So his platform is not going to take any commission. It's going to support 721, of course, like OpenSea, and it will be deployed on Phantom, not on Ethereum, and it will cost just $1.3 to mint an NFT on it. So, which is way smaller compared to the hundreds of dollars that you have to pay to mint NFTs on Ethereum. And of course, this comes in the context of this big scandal that took place last week, where you had this top guy working at OpenSea that was caught the hand in the bag doing some insider trading. So it was basically buying some NFT before these NFT were highlighted on the homepage of OpenSea. So of course the timing here is very important. Then we're going to continue with enterprise, blockchain, and regulation. So we have some news from FTX, one of the big centralized exchange. They are going to relocate from Hong Kong to the Bahamas, which is apparently very Bitcoin friendly, like many other countries in South America. Then we have some news from Crypto.com, which just announced a partner with another NBA team. So Crypto.com really, which is building a lot of partnership right and left. Very recently, they signed a deal with PSG, the soccer team of Paris. So they are basically, they really want to be super big on the NFT market. Then we have some news from Tom Brady, so the football player in the US, who announced that he will love to be paid partly in cryptocurrency, so a mix of Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana. Then Twitter enabled a new feature where you can tip with Bitcoin, and is also planning to let user authenticate to with NFTs. Yeah, I mean, that's cool that Twitter is getting so much into crypto, but I don't understand why the CEO is so obsessed with Bitcoin and doesn't pay attention to Ethereum. So it's time to wake up. I think at this point it's pretty. I can really feel like the opinion is shifting even in the mainstream media. Like, people start to understand that the blockchain that is really amazing and that we should focus on is Ethereum, not Bitcoin. Next, we have some news from Binance, which is going to restrict some crypto offerings to Singapore users. So in the past few months, it's been really tough for Binance because there were a lot of regulators all over the world that just came down hard on them, and told them that what they were doing was illegal. So now Binance finally trying to be a good boy, and they're doing whatever they can to make sure that they are on good terms with regulators. Then we have some news from Coinbase, which decided to back down for their project of a USDC APY program. So basically, they were planning to have a sort of a staking service for USDC. So if you lend your USDC to Coinbase, they pay you some interest, and it was going well. And out of nowhere, the SEC said that they were not happy with this, and so now Coinbase has to back down, unfortunately. Then we have some news from China, which is cracking down hard on crypto, and so basically the country regulator said that now you cannot do any crypto trading in China. So first they cracked down on mining, and now they're saying that you cannot have any sort of crypto trading, and they cracked down even on any sort of information about crypto. So now apparently even just talking about crypto in China is going to be banned. All right, so next we have this very, very important news. So apparently institutional investor now prefer Ether over Bitcoin, according to JP Morgan. So it's very, very critical moment here. And this JP Morgan is not saying this randomly. They are basing this based on the market, especially the spread that is tightening between the Bitcoin future and Ether future. Then the big mistake of the week. So this is coming from Bitfinex that just spent almost $24 million in fee to make a single Ethereum transaction of $100,000. So they probably meant to do the opposite, to transfer $24 million and to pay $100,000 of fee. So that's probably a clerk that did a mistake, but what a terrible mistake. Then we're going to talk of other blockchain a little bit. So bitcoin.org, the website of Bitcoin, was hacked, and was promoting some sort of scam. I think now this is back online, but that was the big hack, of course. Then we have some news from Cardano. So Cardano is announced that they are going to do an app store for all their application. So I find it's a bit strange, really, for blockchain to have an official app store, because I think that really goes against the ethos of crypto and decentralization, because after that that poses the problem of who is going to be in the app store and who is going to decide who is not in the app store. So I don't think this is a good idea for Cardano to have this app store. Okay, then we're gonna continue with news for developers. So we have a new release of Ganache, which is the local development blockchain that is used by Ethereum developer when I do development. And so now Ganache has been updated for EIP 1559. So that was the big fork of Ethereum that happened 2 months ago. Then we have this news from Hot Hat, which is one of the most popular framework for smart contract development, and they announced that they are working on a sort of standard to specify how you should deploy your smart contracts, how to do smart contract deployment. And so basically the idea would be to have some sort of a JSON schema where you specify how to deploy all your contract. And this can be very useful because now you can have all the big DeFi projects that publish their deployment recipe, and then any developer can use this to recreate locally in their environment, they can deploy all the smart contract of a specific protocol, and so that they can develop on it and do all sort of tests. And really, that is going to solve one of the major problem in blockchain, which is how to replicate a production environment for development. So this is going to be very, very useful. All right, so that's it for the news. So next we are going to do the Q&A, but if you are new here, so let me copy the link in the chat. If you are new here and you want to become a professional blockchain developer, make sure to register for my free training, where I'm going to give you a ton of very useful tips for your blockchain career. I'm going to explain you what you need to do exactly to land your first six-figure blockchain job. All right, so next, let's see what we have in the chat. So we have a Synapse Nervosa, Tyler, my guy, Patrice, hi everybody, THX, Ryan, Esquilo, hi from Brazil, Mr. Ha, hi Julian, Mosab, hey bro, R77, what do you think of Pulse Chain? I didn't have a look at it. Jim Bob, J. Lou, warm welcome, Albertan, hi Julian, I applied to your training and I hope to learn something sensey, awesome. GSJ, yo Julian, what's up? Eat the Blocks gang, yes. George Kenichi, hi everyone. Ciao Pizza Bella, Pierre Lesage, GSJ, whoa, Bitfinex just spent $24 million in fee to make a single Ethereum transaction. Yes. I wouldn't like to be at the place of the clerk who did this, or the developer. He probably spent a really, really bad day. Didas, what a dope channel, thank you. George Kenichi, has the staking app, the staking app of Eat the Blocks been implemented? Oh yeah, okay, so my bad. I was supposed to deploy it next week, but I was too busy, so I'll probably do it tomorrow. Yeah. Toyota Soccer, have you tried Cardano contracts? Julian, no, I will try very soon. THX, thought on FTX? I never used it. I just know it's a centralized exchange. That's it. Cool, sweet. Okay. So actually, I do have something to say about FTX. So FTX, I think this is one of these big centralized exchange outside of the US, which like Binance, all of these exchanges, I think at some point they're gonna be challenged by the US authorities this year. Pierre Lesage, thank you for the press review. Efficient and well advised. Thank you. Then Tilta, Cardano saying Cardano App Store. Yes, it's I really, because they said that it's gonna be not permissionless, but yeah, I think they say it's gonna be permissionless, but I don't see how this can be the case, because very soon you're gonna have some people who, I mean, you need to decide a system of, yeah, I don't see how it can be 100% permissionless. I'm a little bit skeptical. Too soon. Ganache is slow, buggy. I switched to hot and happier. All right, it's good to know. Yeah, I mean, I see more and more people who are using hot, so probably in the future in my tutorial that's what I'm gonna use. Toyota saying hot deploy plugin isn't standard. Honestly, I haven't used too much hot. So what's the problem with hot deploy? Is it doesn't work too well? Then Mr. Hag, what's your opinion about Cardano project future? I don't know enough about Cardano to talk about it now. But all I can say is if you check out the cryptofees.com, you can see that the fees that are being paid on Cardano are just so much lower compared to Ethereum, even compared to Ethereum L2. So they are far away, like really, really, really far away. And now if they want to take some traction from the Ethereum ecosystem, they have to be 10 times better, because there is this huge network effect. So, and I don't know how they're going to pull it off. How can they be 10 times better than Ethereum at this point? It just seems extremely difficult. Vasha, hi Julian, Dust Everything, hello people. GSJ, would you mind explaining a bit of the Phantom ecosystem? Maybe in another video. But this is interesting. Christian Mora, what do you think about prevent fraud crypto? What project do you know? Wow, this is a very difficult question, but I mean, I'm guessing you're asking this from a user, how to not lose your crypto, not be hacked. Yeah, this is a very broad topic, but I would say make sure you use a hardware wallet. Make sure that on your hardware wallet you confirm that the transaction is correct, because you can have some cases where MetaMask or some website, sometimes MetaMask can get hacked, or sometimes you visit the website that is hacked and they make you sign a fake transaction. So that's one of the big risks. Yeah, that's what I can say for now, but there are many other things. Tilta, what's the most complicated smart contract you've worked on? Wow. Difficult question. I mean, I work for a few customers, a few projects. There was this project where basically there was we were building a sort of insurance for staking, so that one was quite difficult. Also in my course, six-figure blockchain developer, we built this decentralized exchange with an on-chain order book. So I needed to figure out the price time algorithm, how to implement it in Solidity. So that wasn't easy either. Too soon. What are the steps when starting a new token project? Marketing, groups, etc. Wow. Yeah, I mean, first of all, you gotta decide what's going to be the features of your token, how it's going to be different, and that's really not easy. And I mean, if I were to launch my own blockchain project, I don't think I would just launch a token. I would, if you have a token in an ecosystem, that works, but if you just have a token, that's going to be a little bit limited. So yeah, so maybe broaden your scope and see how you can build something a little bit bigger, and in this bigger project, the token is part of that. All right. Tieta is saying, I find it complicated to implement an ideal DAO system. Yes, DAO, this is really not easy. So if you want some inspiration, you can check out on Open Zeppelin now. They have a governance module. What else do we have in terms of governance, which is a really standard? All right, okay, I have a blank, but there are a couple of sort of standard. Okay, so I think the governance contract of Compound, I think, is one of the standard in the industry. So you can take some inspiration from that also. All right. Okay, so what else do we have? Asubi Jotaka saying Gnosis safe. Yeah, that was in reference of the previous question about the DAO system. Okay, Christian Mora, thanks Julian. And what do we need to become a blockchain engineer? All right, so for that I'm going to copy paste my free training. So register for this is free. I'm going to send you a couple of emails, Christian, and it's going to answer your question. GSJ, do you believe tokenized real estate is something near term, or we got a couple of years before we can start thinking about a project like this? I think it's not ready yet. Yeah, I think there's a lot of work to be done with the government, with regulators, but this is really promising, because really when you see the transaction fees for real estate now, it's crazy. It's I don't know, between, like, depending on countries, can be 5 to 10%, and usually we're talking of a big amount, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if we can reduce this to just a few percent or less than this, thanks to the blockchain, that's going to be really amazing. All right. Vasha, I think DNS registry can be migrated to blockchain for safer web browsing. So you have a couple of projects that are working on this, actually. Helio Rosa. I'm writing an audiobook on-chain exchange too. Cool. So you can check the code of my course, Six-Figure Blockchain Developer. This is all on GitHub. Fat Tran, do you think Solana will replace Ethereum in the future? I really don't think so. I mean, really, Solana, they have a lot of problems to fix. They had this huge problem 1 week ago where the whole blockchain stopped. This never happened to Ethereum. Even during what we call the Shanghai attack, so that was in 2018, I believe. Yeah, sometime in 2018, there was this series of attacks during the Ethereum conference in Shanghai, and the network slowed down a lot, but it never stopped, and that's because Ethereum is very resilient. It has a different client. It has all this history, all this production history of with a lot of apps running, and Solana is very far away from having this. Yeah. Too soon. Does every project make their source code public? If it's not public, it's a big problem. Yeah, so it depends on the project, but for blockchain, the core blockchain technology, it has to be open source. That's for sure. For DeFi protocol or NFT project, most of the time this is public. Sometime what can happen is that some protocol, they don't want to make their code public because they think that it's going to help hacker to analyze their code and try to find some security vulnerability. But I think this is not a very good idea because you lose more trust. The trade-off is that you actually lose more trust from the community compared to the reduced change of being hacked. And even then, you don't reduce the chances of being hacked a lot because it's still possible to figure out. There are some technique to basically how do we call this? Decompile. So basically, you go from you transform some opcode, because everybody can see the opcode that are deployed on the blockchain. Oh yeah, no. This is called a disassembler. So with a disassembler, you can go from opcode deployed on the blockchain to the original Solidity code. So any motivated attacker is able to know what is the source code of your smart contracts. So it's better to just publish them. All right. Andrew, will you ever do Lighting related content or just Ethereum? No, I don't think at this point I'll do Lighting, because Lighting is just so it's just so small compared to Ethereum, and there isn't any traction. So in 2021 nobody talks about Lighting anymore. This is completely outdated technology. MCOM, love your GitHub, it's so cool, thanks. Oh, by the way, I'm in the process of moving the GitHub from my personal account to an organization account. So I created an organization for Eat the Blocks, and so little by little I'm going to move the repo there. It's just to reflect the fact that Eat the Blocks now is not just based on Julian, but I really want it to have an existence separated from me as well. All right, so Toyota, Solana still exists as a mainnet beta. Not sure how long they can call it beta. Yeah, it's a bit strange that they still call themselves beta with so much money on it already. Is on Huang Learn Truffle or Hot Hat and what they are? Yeah, so these are two framework for smart contract development. So I recommend to start with Truffle because that's really the historical framework. Especially if you're a beginner, probably you'll find Truffle easier. And then once you feel comfortable with Truffle, check out Hot because this is becoming the darling of the industry. Toyota, what sector excites you the most in blockchain right now? Personally, I love NFT. NFT are amazing, and what I love about NFT is that it has this huge mainstream appeal that we need for crypto to really develop and explode. It has this appeal, and also it doesn't have the problem of DeFi when it comes to regulation. we will never have some crazy regulation for NFT, because this is not as threatening for regulators. So I think that NFT are just really amazing. Okay, Hidden, what do you think the price of Solana in the future? Yeah, I think Solana is going to develop as a blockchain. I think they're going to grow, so probably the price is going to be multiply several times, time 2, time 3, time 10. But I don't think they will ever catch up with Ethereum. All right. Then what we have. Grand Kapov, please do more NFT project tutorial. Sure, this is planned. And if you guys have any specific idea for NFT tutorials, let me know in the chat. All right, guys, I think we are reaching the end of this live stream. That was great to see so many people tonight. So please make sure to come back every Monday at 11 p.m. UTC plus 8. And one last time, if you are new here and you want to become a professional blockchain developer, I put the link to my free training here. All right, so still a few last minute questions here. Hey Julian, I would love to work as an instructor for ETB, but I'm not 100% ready for that role. How would you recommend I study to get prepared? Make sure you are not a total beginner in web development, because if that's the case, this is really not possible to be an instructor. And also make sure you know the basics of smart contract development, Solidity, etc. Maybe you can try to write some tutorial. Basically, show me how you would perform as an instructor. Show me that you're interested. Show me that you will perform well. And when you feel ready, you can come back to me. Too soon. ABI ask about open closed source, because look at the case with Uniswap. It has cloned on every chain and they make more money than the original Uniswap. Well, Uniswap is having problems with the SEC. Yes, so basically when Uniswap released their V3, it came with a new license that specifically forbidden the cloning of their code. So I'm not sure how enforceable this is, especially with all these anonymous projects, but at least it is probably going to scare away a couple of founders who don't want any problem. But Uniswap, even though there are all these clones, I mean, in the end, they have the trust, and all these clones, they don't have as much trust as Uniswap. So they are still able to capture a lot of value. These clones, it should take away some liquidity from Uniswap, but Uniswap is also able to retain a lot of its glory. All right, Tirta, thank you for amazing stream. Enjoy talking to a fellow developer. Thank you. Alex, I just wanted to come here to thank you for your videos and effort. Thanks, Alex. GSJ, thank you, Julian. See you later, gang. Have a good one. All right, guys. GSJ thing, still waiting for an NFT. Eat the blocks, the background, glow light. Patrice Tisserand, when next step for Eat the Blocks project? Yeah, soon. We're gonna do a live stream probably, no, not this week, but next week. Yeah, this is gonna be the next hackathon. All right, guys, so that's it for today. Thanks everybody for coming, and have a great week. Bye everybody. Bye.